Sellers are way more likely to look you up online than buyers. So if you want to get more listings, you got to know how to get found. Search engine marketing. How are you going to get discovered on the right platforms at the right time in the right way by prospective sellers online? It comes down to what's your SEO strategy. Now today, we're going to talk about 6 different, let's call them placements, places where you should build your presence online to get found by, you guessed it, sellers. This first one out of the gate is a big one. It's local business directories. In other words, directories where you can look up local business listings. One that may be coming to mind for you is your Google business profile. If you're unfamiliar with the Google business profile, if you head over to Google Maps or Google Search and you do any kind of a search for a local business, you're going to see red pins on a map. Those red pins represent different business listings, and your Google business listing, i.e. your Google business profile, formerly called Google My Business, is your ticket, your gateway, your entrance into the show of local SEO where customers go looking for businesses like yours. Now, your Google business listing can show up in a different looking way based upon how the customer might be searching. For example, if somebody Googles the name of your business, it's going to show what's called a knowledge panel. That is, the right-hand side panel of Google is going to display just your business listing, its details, its reviews, and so forth. However, if they do a search like best realtor in Nashville, or some search to that effect where they're looking not for you directly, but for what you do, and the question is, do you rank in that search? That will trigger a map pack. A map pack is a portion of map on the Google search results with the top 3 business listings, and that's where all the money is. That's where you have to optimize your profile to get found by more prospective sellers. And so my recommendation is reviews. You got to get more reviews, specifically reviews from seller clients, because those reviews feed keywords into Google that gives it a contextual understanding of when and how to rank you. So my challenge to you, more than anything else when it comes to dialing in your Google business profile strategy, is what's your strategy for getting more reviews? How are you going to get on what we'll call a review rhythm of getting more reviews from your customers that feed the right keywords where Google's like, I think that is the best realtor in Nashville, ergo, thus I'm going to rank them in the map pack. The second where to get found by sellers online is a biggie and a relatively easy one for you to grasp, and that is top search portals like Zillow, like Realtor.com, like Redfin, like Trulia, where there's an opportunity for you to have a profile that features reviews and transaction history and accolades and varying points of criteria that would make someone want to choose you over somebody else. I work with a lot of coaching clients who every year they get a handful of deals that are just layups that dropped in their lap effectively because somebody found them on Redfin or found them on Zillow. And it wasn't a Premier Agent lead per se, or it wasn't a paid lead. It was somebody who literally went there to read the reviews. And they said, I like this one. I'm going to call this agent right here. And then the agent did the most important thing of all, which is answer the phone. And they booked an appointment and they had an opportunity. And it's generally more consistent that it's a seller opportunity. Now, in some cases, you can imagine the use case where, what about relocation? Well, yeah, that's normal. Maybe somebody's relocating to an area and they don't have an agent, or they don't have a network and a community to get a referral from. They may go looking on these placements too. But the point I want you to consider is that it's seller behavior. Sellers are the ones who are the most likely on a routine basis to go look you up. So the question is, are you positioning yourself, your business, to be discovered by those sellers? And are you converting them with the right reviews, the right optimizations, the right setup, the right profile images, the right updated copy? Are you having a good presence on these platforms, or are you ignoring them? When was the last time you updated your profiles on Realtor.com, on Zillow, on Redfin, on Trulia, on the top platforms where you know the customer is going online to search for all things real estate? When was the last time? Guess what? Prospective sellers are looking up top agents on social media. They're looking on Instagram, they're looking on Facebook, they're looking on TikTok, they're looking on YouTube, they're looking you up on social media. Now, this could go down a couple of different ways. One, they may look you up. Maybe you met them at an open house and they were a neighbor and they want to see what you're all about. So the first question you have to address is, hey, when a customer looks me up, does my social presence sell or unsell my services? And you may want to do some, improvements on your pages in terms of content, in terms of profile pictures and bios and all that jazz. The other way to look at this is, well, how do I get found by prospective sellers who maybe don't know who I am yet? And the answer is through optimized content. So when you post content on Instagram, for instance, use a location tag. Facebook, use a location tag. Even YouTube, use a location tag, because you're feeding information to those platforms that says, my content takes place here in this hyperlocal vicinity, and it is therefore relevant in this area. So when it comes to these algorithms making suggestions for content, they're factoring that in. The geotagging matters. The use of picking it there. Use of local hashtags also matters. Now, hashtags, a lot of people think, ooh, I'm gonna use the right hashtag and get lots and lots of views and lots of likes and get discovered and become Instagram famous or social media famous. And that's not what it's about. It's not gonna get you all that, but what it could do is get you found by the right people in that final mile moment where they're looking for somebody at the right time. So what are the local hashtags that perhaps somebody who is a local seller looking for somebody who can do the job for them at a high level, seeing what's around them, what are some of those hashtags that might help optimize your content to get shown to them at that critical moment? Now, you're putting a lot of faith in the algorithm. You're giving information to the algorithm and saying, I'm trusting you, algorithm, on Instagram and Facebook and these other platforms. I'm trusting you to give this content to the right people at the right time. And the more you give it, the more opportunity it has to give you to the right people at the right time. I know that's an abstract thought, but I hope you're tracking along with it. Rolling into the third practice, which is the content you produce itself. The way these platforms work more now than they did ever before is through suggested content. About a third or so of what we see in our feeds on Facebook and Instagram, just for instance, is suggested content. What you see on the Explore and homepage of YouTube is suggested content. It's the platform showing you what it thinks you might be interested in. So what would happen if your content would be really interesting to people whose interest has suddenly shifted into the idea of selling a house? What are the things they're looking at on social media, and how can you create content that would actually be delivered to them? How can you put the algorithms to work for you? By leveraging your social media presence to get found by sellers who are in that moment of looking for the best realtor in their area.